outcome you could have asked for. You know, opposite spawns.
Absolutely, it's always good for the Marines, helps them hold their close locations. Looks like an even split from the aliens, moving left and right, and first contact is going to be in ventilation.
Yeah, moving through DC quick, really not holding back for anything. They're going to kind of bait them here, which is a good move on the alien side, especially when you're really unsure of how well these guys are going to shoot as Marines.
Mendas receiving a nano shield as the lead player in that. But it's a good idea to try and draw these Marines into close quarters instead of engaging them down that hallway. But it looks like Skulkrush will hold there. Key being very disciplined though. Fish coming in to engage, Bitey coming in to engage, both going down, but until then they were very, very disciplined.
Yeah, we've got some action happening on the left side. It looks like it's down to just Kuji against Wildman. Wildman's taking his time. But we do have a Skulk down in base. Vez is chomping on the observatory, which is a big deal early on in the game if they can knock that down. Doesn't look like he got much off of it.
But he did get, he got 45% out of the infantry portal. So nice load of damage done early in the game there. Skulkrush managing to hold the close extractors. A little bit of combat in data core, so no huge combat yet. Well, this is a pretty big engagement. Bitey doing a fantastic job. Gee, they were hiring Bitey was a good idea. And
yeah,
then takes down Elmo.
Well.
3 kills.
You know, this is a big blow to Marines again. You know, Marines have to hold res. It's really important to hold res. We've been working on strategizing more and more with just holding 3 res nodes, knowing that aliens can be extremely aggressive. And losing this 4th one is not only a blow for your team res, but it's going to drag them out far away from base to go and defend it.
Absolutely. Now it looks like Vez will not be able to take this down before Mendas comes in to engage him. He's trying to close the distance, trying to bait the Marine to come closer to him, but 2 Marines are going to be able to lock this down. Now, the decision to chew down the power node I don't think was very good because it takes a very short time to build that in build 204 relative to the amount of time it takes to chomp it down. So always best to just go for the extractor in build 204. In future builds, we will be working on that and probably fixing it.
Absolutely, yeah, it is one of the hardest things to stomach as an alien is you spend so much time chomping it down only to turn around and see him fix it in 2 seconds.
Looks like Solance is now guarding an empty node in Computer Lab, so they've lost that one. So the Marines have lost a total of 40 res, and the aliens have lost a total of 20.
Yeah, the downside here for the Marines is that, you know, the aliens have held 3 res nodes this entire time, which just means they're building up P-res more and more and more, which means fades are going to come out, and you know, unless the Marines can keep pressure on the alien res, it's a big loss, big time.
Absolutely. Now this harvester did go down to 31%, but Skulkrush trying to finish it off. I don't think they'll be able to. It would have been a great blow. It's always great to see Marine teams kill harvesters in the early game, but look at this, 5 extractors now. Wow, they're actually holding a lot of res, and Keed's harvesters on the other side of the map are under attack in crevice. Wow. It's actually going to go down.
Kuji out there, which is a pretty good pairing of players. They're extremely fast and responsive, and especially if you're going to go 2-on-1, I would expect them to pull ahead.
Gee whiz, look at this. That's a harvester down, and now the Marines look to be in an exceptional position. And what is this? That's a phase gate. We've got some phase gates going up.
I will say that is a big tactic with Skulkrush. They love their phase gates. And rightfully so. It gives them extremely good map control, easy assault from their main location, which will help them move across the map a lot better in this game.
Absolutely. You can see the phase gates going up, and when this phase gate is loaded, which will be any second now, the Marines will be able to move between those 2 areas seamlessly. You can see it's now up, and that's very cool.
Flight control, we're definitely chomping on the node here, but you know, going 3-2 with the Skulks. Wow, Lance and Kuji again, a great team, totally able to knock off 3 of those Skulks. I think Vez got out just in time, but these 2 are really a lot of fun to watch.
That is very cool, and they've managed to hold the phase gate. Now, if I can do John, if I can do John Madden for a moment, although no, I can't because it's. If I could do John Madden for a moment. The Marines are fighting in this area. They've got that whole area. Normally aliens will lock Marines into this area, so they're doing very well to hold these 2 long extractors, and they're doing what they need to do, which is using phase gates to try and lock it down.
Yeah, over here in DC, you can see they're doing the double lurk attack, which can be extremely effective, especially with gassing and spiking. You know, they don't have Bile Bomb yet, and I'm right now with the way that Skulkrush is holding both DC and flight. I find it really hard for Keat to be able to get up a second hive to help with that Bile Bomb attack, which is extremely effective now that it has the 5-second attack without repair happening.
And we just lost a lurk on Keat, so that's a big blow at the start of the game. Who was that? I'm not sure who it was. Oh, it was Fish. Lost his life form, so that's a big blow. So Skulkrush looking really good at the moment. They've locked down 2 of the available 3 hive locations. Crossroads, never a great spot to drop a hive. There's a lot of good sight firing lines into Crossroads. Would you agree?
Yeah, you know, Crossroads is a difficult one to hold as Alien, but Umbra is extremely powerful. And a lot more people are realizing that if you build a crag first when you're pushing out is an extremely good tactic because it allows you for protection while the hive is building. And it also moves with the players, which is great too because it adds a lot of armor to an Alien player.
Absolutely. Blocking 1 in 2 bullets that's a lot of damage. That halves the damage of the Marine side. A bit of pressure in Data Core, which is good to see, but I think the Marines are going to be able to hold this. They've got mines all over the face gate. They have an armory going up. The armory is going to allow them to restock and rearm. It's looking good for Skulkrush at the moment.
Yeah, I'm going to say that it's probably going to be pretty difficult right now for Keat to win this one. They've got, you know, Skulkrush has too much map control. The Aliens are pretty split up because they're trying to assault these phase gates on either side. And there's no pressure happening to the main base. And with the mines down, it makes it extremely difficult to be able to chomp anything.
Absolutely.
And they're losing res. I mean, Lance was able to take out a drifter going into Crossroads. Crevice has not been rebuilt. We've got Kuji making his way into Atrium to just keep some pressure, hold the Aliens up there, keep them to stay up there and defend. You can see that they've, looks like they've already got weapons 1. They've got grenade launchers researched now. I mean, it's going to be a kill here soon, big time.
Absolutely. This hive is feeling it. This hive is feeling it coming. Only 2 harvesters now to 4, so they did lose 1. But Lance is there. He's going to rebuild that very soon. And pressure in reactor core.
You can see that the P-res for the Aliens is up to 60 now. I think if they're going to have any chance of holding any of this back, somebody's got to start evolving to Fade, and I just don't see it happening. It looks like the only person that could do it at the moment is me. Not me, but Keep Me. And it looks like Vez as well now. Because of the lurks going down, it's just taking up too much of their personal res.
Absolutely. So, and Vez, as a Fade, would only have Shadow Step. Although Bitey just did a great job to kill down. Oh no, he did a great job killing the mines, but was then taken down. So that's another life form lost. Wow. And you can see now that the Marines have collected 300 total resources versus the Alien 203, and the effect of that is big. So Skulkrush playing really well as the Marines right now.
And they just added armor 1, which is researching is about 40%. You know, that's going to be a big deal too, because now that the biting, especially again with the lag compensation, is going to be quite a big deal for these Aliens. They are not going to be able to counter that armor 1 as easily.
So some sporadic fighting in Crevice and Reactor, but grenades now going down on Crevice. Oh, blinked back to base. Oh, I think they're all grabbing grenade launchers so they could do a push.
Yeah.
So that was...
I think it's time. You know, it's one of the hardest things to watch too is when the games draw out, and I know that we've been responsible for that as well at points, but if they're going to do this, they've got all the tools that they need to push in and just end it.
Absolutely, they could do it right now. So that what they did there was the commander used the observatory to beacon all his Marines back to base. That's ability that blinks Marines back to base. All those Marines have now collected heavy weaponry, and they are now going to try and push towards the hive. It looks like Keat is doing a fantastic job of fighting them in glass hallway, though, to prevent them from coming down.
Keat's also been able to get the Crevice res node back up, and they're attacking power again. You know, I mean, that's a big loss. Oh, second command chair now at flight control. They're securing their position in the map so that if there is an all-out assault, which is typically a good move, if you're about to die, you might as well go for the glory. And that's going to be really bad for Keed because there's not a whole lot of way to counter this now.
Absolutely. A lot of cysts going down to blow up the mines in here. This is definitely a big concerted assault on data core. Meanwhile, we have grenades going off in crevice again. So aliens taking some and making some.
This is an example here in DC of how much control Skulkrush has had throughout this game, that they took the time to actually not only build the armory, but make it an advanced armory, which is going to cost you, you know, what is it now, 10 res, plus the time. So
yeah,
they've just had complete control of this room to be able to do that, which is definitely a big kudos to them.
Absolutely. They do have complete control. Despite this infestation, I think they'll be able to cut the cyst chain pretty easily there. And it's not a trivial thing.
To Wildman and Kuji out here. Kuji was lobbing grenades in the air at Wildman as a lurk out of crevice, which I think was a bit of a lost cause, but he died pretty bad there.
He was having some fun. And look at this, Vez saving up a lot of res. Could we see an Onos for a last ditch push?
I highly doubt it. Knowing Skulkrush, they've done a gentleman's agreement on Onos.
Oh, okay.
You know, Onos is an extremely hard entity to kill. Maybe not so much right now with weapons 1 up, and now it looks like armor 2 going up. But there's a major gentleman's agreement in the competitive world for Onos at Hive 2 just to be, you know, a little more even played.
Yeah, for sure. It's a shame, though. It would be cool to see an Onos charge out of that hive and try and do something. I think against grenades he'd be in a lot of trouble, but it would have been cool.
I absolutely agree, Hugh.
So I don't know what all that res is being saved up for. Vez now has 83, me has 73, so they could do something with it if they wanted.
I'm quite surprised that I've not seen a single fade come out. Fades are extremely deadly. Even with Shadow Step, these players are good enough to be using Shadow Step almost as effectively as Blink. So that's a little bit of a disappointment.
Absolutely.
Still, they've only got Carapace, no regen. You know, so they're not really doing anything with upgradings. I can't figure out why they haven't done anything with all this res, except for maybe the fact they're just waiting for them to come in and kill them.
Yeah, I'd like to see Skulkrush consolidate and execute an attack here. Kuji and Lance again moving through crevice. Grenades not actually hitting, but here we go. They're finally hitting this harvester. And it is going to go down, finally. I feel like the grenades were almost wasted on it, but they've finally taken it down. And now we've got a fade up. Vez is now a fade, finally. So 2 fades up. They've got Shadow Step, which is something.
They're smart to move with the skulks too, especially knowing that you're handicapped a little bit by Shadow Step, using those skulks to kind of rush in and divert the attacks to them while the fade can roll in and protect you or even take the kill.
And some serious damage happening in
See, this is again why I sit there saying I don't understand why they didn't go fades earlier. You can obviously see some massive, you know, game control changing. Really smart to have that OBS there in flight control with that second command chair. They can beacon the team both there and to sub-access if they need to protect.
So they're definitely trying to hold on to flight
man,
control.
Fade down.
Fade down. And a second fade down.
Second fade down. Oh, wow. That's a huge loss. As you can see, what we didn't notice there is they had upgraded to level 2 weapons, which pretty much is going to knock down a fade without blink pretty fast if they can't get out of the room.
Absolutely. Now this phase gate may go down, which is good. You can see they're hitting it from both sides to prevent Marines from coming through, and now the armory will go down as well. So Keed is staying in it. I mean, they've managed to drop Crossroads Harvester. They've redropped Crevice. It looks like they're dropping Reactor Core right now. Maybe we'll see a comeback.
You know, one of the things I could kind of maybe see, and them being crazy in a good way, they've got enough res, they could almost do a double hive drop to at least get one of them up, to have someone who's been saving their res, well, both of them used it, but enough res to maybe get that Onos out in play and teach Skulkrush a lesson.
Absolutely. So Skulkrush, I feel like they had it earlier, and they might have now lost it. They had this game. They haven't lost the game, although an infantry portal going down, and now a second infantry portal down to 75%. Wow, 60%, 50.
Oh yeah,
40.
is just down there. Commander out of his chair, which is always a difficult one, but he's got more than enough reinforcement. Now they're only down to that 1 IP at 22%. They do have welders though, so expect that to probably get healed up. Although we have seen Skulkrush before in previous games not pay attention to the welds. And, oh, no, there it goes.
Yeah, there goes Wombat with his welder. Looks like we've accidentally got the welder model on backwards.
That's how we won one of those matches against Skulkrushes. They did not weld their command chair and ran out, so we went balls in and went for it, and were able to take down the chair. Yep. DC has been totally cleared out, pretty much.
And looks a like gorge, keeping fish alive.
Yeah. Great tactic here.
Wow, Keed is so back in this.
They're using catalyze on it. This could be a double hive drop. I called it. There we go.
Wow.
Now it looks like they're going to move to, they're going to distract. So Skulkrush will probably run towards one of them, but not realize that there's two going down. I don't believe that they've scanned DC at all.
Yep, I don't think they know. Although we did have that Marine in there fighting in there, so I think they do know about it. But now they'll have to
say you can't be surprised at how much you don't see when you're.
That's true.
They're all moving into crossroads together. This hive's at 66%. Their shotgun's level 2. This is going to go down fast.
Yep, that'll be gone in a moment. But hey, there's a second hive now, and now can Keed defend?
77%. They're catalyzing it. There could be a good shot of this getting up if they can hold them into crossroads long enough.
Now, no one has res for an Onos at the moment, but it will allow the Fade, which is fish, to blink, and that's big. Here they come. This is a crucial moment in this game.
82%, still growing.
A Wild Man engaging close.
Damage.
I would have liked to see Wild Man hide behind his Hydras here. You can see he's got Hydras here, and if he'd stayed back, he might have stayed alive.
Team protecting himself. They're moving. Oh, this is.
Yeah, it's going down.
I was really hoping Keed could pull something out there.
Damn, I don't know where the whole team is right now. I guess they're all spawning, but it's definitely dead. That's a real shame.
At this point, the only thing they've really got going for them up at Atrium is the single crag, which is, again, really effective with its Umbra. They now have Regen and Carapace, but that was a big blow. They've lost almost all that res. They have enough to do another hive if they want to, but I just don't see that happening.
Yeah. Now, Skulkrush, they have to consolidate an attack now. They need to make something happen now. They need to really punish. Although, look at this. They've got enough res for a hive, and there's Hydras in here. So, this is a pretty good position.
To drop in a location you've already secured again. But, those shotguns are just, they're really difficult. And they're researching flamethrowers now. So, I'm interested to see what Skulkrush is doing here for an in-game. Again, I'm really surprised they have not moved in for the kill.
So
I would definitely say that this game has gone a little longer than it should have.
It has, although Keed is being plucky. Level 3 weapons and level 3 armor. That's
Fish is
a
now
lot.
in clearing mines. I hope that's what he was doing.
Yeah.
Scardy Bob mentioning in the chat that they've got everything but jetpacks. I would find that really interesting if they went for jetpacks.
It would be cool to see some jetpacks. I mean, those shotguns.
For a fact they will not go arc. So, oh, we have a hive drop in DC again.
Absolutely.
It's already at 57%, although I will say that he is probably out of catalyze because he used a lot of it to try to build that hive before.
So, those level 3 shotguns, if they get onto a hive, I mean, that hive is just going to die so fast. But the point is...
4 players, less than 10 seconds.
Less than 10 seconds. The point is, can they get those players in? That's the question. I don't think they know about the DC hive at the moment. We do have Vez on 75, so we could see an Onos. But that Onos against level 3 weapons is going to struggle.
Unless he's got at least 2 gorges on him, that could be a serious mismatch.
Absolutely. So,
using Catalyze again, we're up to 70% on that DC hive. Don't show any recollection that Skulkrush knows it's there. They're pushing through crossroads. not really sure exactly what's going on right now.
I think they're going to try and come from behind and kill that hive. Look how fast that harvester goes down to those shotguns and grenade launchers. These weapons are level 3, and you cannot underestimate how strong level 3 weapons are in Natural Selection 2 against these alien life forms. Aliens do not have the equivalent sort of armor upgrade system, so once the weapons are upgraded, they kill things quickly.
Again, man, this is just...
It's a replay.
These guys could just do so much damage. Those
oh,
on there.
Look at it just die so fast. Holy moly.
I mean, you know, with as much res as they had, I would have loved to see Crags be put in here early. You know, like I said, Crags being put up, especially against rifle and shotgun fire, almost negates them completely. They really didn't have any other defenses beyond the Hydras, and with all that armor, you know, you're talking a big loss.
Yeah, it's I mean, you got to remember that a Crag with Umbra, that doubles.
Now they're not wasting it. They're dropping CCs in every open tech point. They're finally moving forward. Again, I will say I'm a little bit surprised that they've taken so much time to end this game.
I guess Keed is just really sticking it to them.
Going all in. Look at this, down at sub-access.
Oh, Wild Man, get out of there.
They can't do anything against this. Level 3 weapons now, level 2 armor. I mean, this is just a bloodbath.
Oh, these poor little aliens getting absolutely slaughtered by these humans. Oh.
I cannot stand to see my poor little Gorgie go down
I
like that.
know. Those level 3 weapons just have so much bite. You need, if you're going to go toe-to-toe with Marines, with this kind of tech, you need to have more advanced life forms out. You need to have double upgrades at least.
Scardy Bob naming it correctly. Level 3 death cannons. That's essentially what they are.
Yeah.
Yeah, you know, as Alien, when you're competing against a well-played Marine team that knows how to cover each other, knows how to move out in the right pace, you have to utilize your Crags and Whips. They are your only defense, you know, when your team is not there or your team's getting knocked down as much as these guys are.
And, I mean, Keed is being so plucky. They're just not giving up, and I think that's why Skulkrush is having trouble nailing them down, because they're not letting Skulkrush back them into a corner. They're constantly fighting across the whole map. They're not letting Skulkrush consolidate into any one position and then attack from it. That's why they're staying in this game.
We've got an interesting assault here going on in flight control. We've got Fish running around as a fade. Taking damage from that mine, that's going to be a big hurt. While it looks like it was a decoy to get these 3 Skulks, or 2 Skulks now, down into sub-access to maybe get them to beacon back, maybe for some control or something.
There's a Mac on the beacon is going to pull them all back, and maybe that'll allow the aliens to do some damage to something.
It looks like they're going for the command chair and Crossroads. They're realizing now that every tech point has been locked in. Their hope of getting a hive down with the kind of map control these guys have is going to be really difficult.
There we go. That's a drop. Now they have 140 team res. These guys could drop Crags and Whips and a hive. I would love to see that happen. I'd
love to see it. Yeah, I'd love to see it. I just don't know that with how they've played their cards so far that they're going to pull that off.
Skulkrush has killed one of their harvesters in Crossroads. Fish on his own against these 2. He needs to be very careful. He takes down Kuji. There's another beacon. All the means beaconing into data core, and I think we're going to see an attack here. They're all stocking up at the armory.
5 down Crossroads.
Oh
56%.
boy.
Again, he's got almost no catalyze, so he can't rush this hive at all.
No Crags, no nothing.
No drifters on their way. You know, this is, again, you know, really unfortunate to see this.
What they can hope is that Skulkrush don't know. So they have to stop Sir Lance seeing it, but he's seen it for sure. I think, oh, no, he might not have gotten visual. Okay, he might not have seen it. So
double fades protecting. You got a Gorge out here, which is a good thing.
But there's a Hydra, but we need to see. Oh, there's the scan. Just as the Hydras are dropped. So now Skulkrush is going to come down on this thing like a ton of bricks. Where are the Crags? That's what we need to see. Now they might.
Like we've got 3 of Skulkrush out, 4 of Skulkrush out here at Crevice. They're now making their way back, but this fade could be some serious damage.
Oh, he's got to get out of there. Oh, it was close.
Oh, lucky.
Now, drifters, they cost energy or P-res? I've forgotten.
What?
drifters.
Drifters cost 2 team res.
Yeah, yeah. So they're fine on that. Then I was thinking, wait, maybe the problem is they don't have any drifters, but that's just not an excuse. Here come
71%. Grenades coming in. The catalyze a little bit. It's just
the gorge goes down. Oh, if the gorge had stayed alive and the aliens had fought, I mean, what you could have had here is the gorge staying behind the hive healing and the aliens engaging here. But that's it. Small calls it GG. And it is. I mean, I would have loved to see some Crags or some Umbra. I don't know if it would have made it happen, but it definitely would have kept those hives alive longer. But gee whiz, Keed, staying in it like that was really impressive.
Well, again, you know, it comes back to the fact that Skulkrush was aggressive, but never really went for the kill. I mean, you rarely saw much gameplay up here in Atrium, which was quite surprising.
Absolutely. Now, I think these guys are going to go for a server swap here. So that gives us an opportunity to take a break and
drink fluids.
Drink fluids, absolutely.